is Mr. Jones, and I'd like to help you with unit rates. Now remember, a rate is simply a ratio that compares quantities measured in different units. Okay, for example, miles to hours. You can have a rate of miles per hour. Miles to gallons. Okay, you can have rates that are cost per ounce, that cost per pound, feet per second, and so on. Okay, but a unit rate is the rate for 1 unit of a given quantity. All right, for example, suppose a car drove 100 miles on 4 gallons of gas. Okay, the rate of gas consumption is 100 miles per 4 gallons. Okay, that's a rate, and it's a ratio of miles to gallons. Okay, but to find the unit rate, essentially I need to divide the denominator into the numerator to eliminate the denominator, or to leave a denominator of 1 would be another way of thinking of it. So 4 divides into 100 25 times. The unit rate would be 25 miles per gallon. Notice now the denominator is actually 1 because I've divided 4 into 100. So it's 25 miles per 1 gallon. Okay, so a unit rate is going to be 1 in which the denominator is equal to 1 unit. Okay? Well, let's see if you can work out an example here. Suppose you knew that the winner of a 500-mile race completed the race in 2 hours and 45 minutes, but you wanted to discover what their unit rate of speed was for that entire race. Okay? Well, notice you can take 500 miles divided by 2 hours and 45 minutes, but how are you going to divide miles by hours and minutes? Okay? Right, what you're going to need to do is convert these units of time into 1 unit of time. It could be into hours, so that means you'd have to convert 45 minutes into a portion of an hour and then add it to 2. It'd be easiest and best probably if you could write that as a decimal. And then you could take 500 miles divided by however many hours that is. Or you could convert it all into minutes, and then your rate would be in terms of miles per minute. Okay, but why don't you go ahead and see if you can work that one out, and then when you're finished, or if you run into place and you need help, just hit continue. Okay, well, let's see what we're going to do here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 45 minutes and convert that into hours, because I know that there are 60 minutes in an hour, so I'm going to have 45/60ths of an hour. 15 divides into both of those, so that's 3/4 of an hour. Okay, so you could write it as a fraction, 2 3/4 hours, but 3/4 as a decimal is 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to take 500 miles divided by 2.75 hours. Okay, there's a rate, but it's not yet a unit rate because I need a denominator equal to 1, so I'm going to need to divide 2.75 into 500. So 500 divided by 2.75, let's round that to the nearest whole. That gives me about 181.8 continuing on. So what I'm going to do is round that to the nearest whole mile per hour, and that's going to be 182 miles per hour. Wow, that would be nice if I could commute on the freeway at that speed. Wouldn't need to leave home long before my starting time, would I? Okay, well, that should give you an idea of what a unit rate is and how to utilize it, so I urge you to work carefully and work well.